What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D. Been out here this evening getting my 10,000 steps in, and I had to chill and kick it with y'all. We got games to talk about now. Now, you guys out there, I know I got a pretty diverse and dynamic audience. I know a few of you guys are gamers out there, so this might be news that you're not so happy with. Nintendo is raising the prices of various different Switch accessories and systems. Now, most of these price changes affect the original Switch, but there are some that are gonna affect the Switch too. So, listen to the sting of this. The Switch 2 Joy-Cons will be going from $89.99 to $99.99. So from $90 to $100. The Switch 2 dock was previously $120. It will now be $125. Here's some Switch 1 things. The NES controllers, for those of you that like to use those to play the NES, online console stuff, those controllers, which I already thought were overpriced at $60, are now getting raised to $70. The Super Nintendo controllers, they will be, interesting, $30 going to $35. The N64 and Genesis ones, those both are going from $50 to $55. Remember Amiibos? Amiibos had got a price hike before. They were like $12.99, then it became $15.99. Well, they're now gonna be $20, and the packs of two will be $30. Or no. I'm sorry. The packs of two that were previously $30 will now be $40. Now, I used to buy quite a few of the Amiibo just because I thought they were the Nintendo merch that we never got as kids. I had like this Nintendo themed table that I would buy the Amiibo to sit on, but I stopped doing that literally years ago. I don't think I've bought a single Amiibo since 2018, so it's been a while that I've been out of that freaking game. Here's some other things y'all aren't gonna like so much. OLED Switch is now gonna be $400. Now, wasn't that $350 before? It's getting a $50 hike. I mean, at that price, you might as well just get a Switch 2, because a Switch 2 is $450. If you're gonna buy the OLED Switch 1, you might as well just throw the extra $50 in there and spring for the newer console. The OG Switch is going from $300 to $340, and the Switch Lite going from $200 to $230. Switch 1 Joy-Cons are going from $80 to $90, and the Switch 1 Pro controller is going from $70 to $80. And here's one that people are really ticked about. The alarm clock that was already overpriced at $100 got a $10 price hike of now going to $110. So from $100 to $110. Let's see. Okay, those there look like ones that I already had went over before. So some people are blaming the tariffs. Of course, I'm not quite convinced that it's the tariffs. It just seems like, all right, Nintendo already came out the gate being very aggressive with their pricing when it came to the Switch 2. I think that's one of the reasons why the Switch 2 isn't really moving like that. Originally, the Switch 2 was really selling, all right? But that's to be expected when a new console comes out. If you guys remember, the Wii U was a colossal failure. I think that thing sold like 13 million units or something like that. And there was a huge rush for that when that came out. And we saw overall that system became the worst selling in the history of Nintendo. Out of all of their home consoles, that one was the absolute worst. So the initial rush was to be expected. But now it's tapered off greatly because ultimately it's a more powerful Switch, which people want it, of course, but the price was so aggressive for what you're getting, and that's kind of made people shy away. If you want the one without a game, it's $450. If you want the one that comes with a bundle with Mario Kart World, it's $500. You know, that's just kind of pricey when the original Switch was like what, like 300? So a lot of people are pissed. Speaking of the original Switch, that's why a lot of people are pissed here, because we're entering the 8th year of the OG Switch. They don't seem to be stopping production on it. They still seem to be making it for now, and the price of it is going up. Even hypothetically, if this was about tariffs, which I don't think that it is, but let's say hypothetically it was, there's still no reason why a system that came out in 2017 is getting a price hike in 2025. That is crazy. There is no reason why Nintendo is not cutting the price to the original Switch. And that's why I don't believe this is about tariffs. I don't think this is about tariffs, because they're taking an 8-year-old machine and making $30 to $50 markups on it. So no, this is not about tariffs. It seems like Nintendo is trying to steer you in the direction of getting the Switch 2. Now, this isn't the first time Nintendo's done something like this. If you guys remember, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, when that came out, they charged $70 for it, and they got away with it. Now, why did they charge $70 for it? Because they didn't want to lower the price of Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, which came out in the launch window of the OG Switch, is still $60 to this day. And now that the sequel was out, they didn't want it sitting on the market at the same price. People were going to be expecting a price cut. So they charge $70 so that they can keep the price of Breath of the Wild at $60. And it was a win-win for them. They get to continue to keep the original game at $60, and they got to squeeze an additional $10 out of the new game. So Nintendo, they've been doing a lot of really aggressive anti-consumer practices lately, and this just seems like more of that. So ultimately, I think they are trying to steer people in the direction of buying the Switch 2. And for those that still insist on buying Switch 1 stuff, they're going to tax you for it. So I know this isn't great news for those of you that are gamers out there, especially those of you that really love the Nintendo stuff. I think this is terrible. Nintendo hasn't really given a reason why they've done these price hikes. I mean, they on their website basically had a warning of a price update coming, but they really didn't give a reason for what that is. So yeah, they're gonna leave it up to you to speculate, and they're not stupid. They already know a lot of people are just gonna immediately say tariffs, 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 and I don't believe that's what it is. I think this is just Nintendo continuing their recent theme of making very anti-consumer choices when it comes to the pricing of their products. I mean, think about this. They raised the price of that already overpriced clock by $10. If that don't tell you that they own some BS, I don't know what will. I'm gonna leave it there though, you guys. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. Hit me in them comments. I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.